Clinton House had been regularly inspected by the CQC and told to improve. New admissions had been temporarily suspended in 2013 and 2015. So why weren't residents better protected?
What this is ultimately down to is the provider, the Morley Group, making sure that they are doing the job that they are being paid to do. We were trying to get the service to make sure that that was happening, that it hasn't happened and that they've allowed it to deteriorate so badly is just awful, is awful for the people affected, and it's not something that we can tolerate.
We've shown our findings to legal and medical experts. They've said the regulatory system just isn't working.
The regulatory framework is a very important aspect of how we make sure that people get the care that they have every right to expect. If we say a service requires improvement, that's what it means. It also requires people who are commissioning those services, so the local council and the clinical commissioning group, to think about what are they doing in terms of commissioning from a service that we've said requires improvement.
Both Cornwall Council and NHS Kernow say they worked with the Morley Group to make improvements, but they weren't maintained. They have apologised to residents at St Teresa's and Clinton House. Residents at Clinton House are now being found alternative accommodation. But rehousing residents when homes close, particularly in rural areas, can be difficult.
The market economy was supposed to introduce competition. There would be lots of providers. That hasn't happened. If the Care Quality Commission threatened the closure of a home, then local authorities and health authorities are faced with finding alternative accommodation for 40, 50, or maybe more older residents. And that is the problem. It is not a market. To some extent, it is a system based on monopoly suppliers.
The Morley Group denies that it failed to give proper attention to the quality and safety of residents' care. It says it had already dismissed the manager of Clinton House before it became aware of our investigation. The CQC has now downgraded 4 Morley Group homes to inadequate.
They told us basically lessons will be learnt. Will they? I got my doubts.
The regulator has said it will refuse to let the owners of the Morley Group open another home. But how worried should we be about the more than 3,000 other care and nursing homes in England that have been told to improve?